They tried poison. It didn't work. They tried point-blank gunshots. He survived. Then they threw him into a frozen Russian river in the dead of winter. And yet, when they found Rasputin's body, there were signs he had tried to claw his way free from under the ice. How did an illiterate peasant come to control the Russian Empire, and become impossible to kill? The answer will change everything you think you know about power. It was 1905, and the Russian Empire was collapsing. Tsar Nicholas II governed 130 million people with the effectiveness of a sleeping man. His wife Alexandra, consumed by anguish watching their hemophiliac son Alexei bleed uncontrollably, desperately sought any cure. Doctors failed. Science failed. It was into this vacuum of desperation that a strange peasant from Siberia appeared, promising the impossible. And delivered. Grigory Rasputin arrived in St. Petersburg with no title, no money, no formal education. He had only eyes that witnesses said seemed to pierce the soul. When he laid his hands on little Alexei and the boy stopped bleeding, Alexandra surrendered completely. Within 2 years, Rasputin had unrestricted access to the imperial palace. Within 5, ministers were appointed and dismissed at his advice. The filthy monk from Siberia had become the most powerful man in Russia. On the night of December 29, 1916, a group of nobles lured Rasputin to Yusupov Palace with promises of wine and women. First came the cakes, laced with enough cyanide to kill a horse. Rasputin ate them and asked for more wine. Then came the gunshots. He fell, but got up. He tried to escape into the snowy garden. More shots. When they finally stopped, they bound him, wrapped him in a carpet, and threw him into the frozen Neva River. There were scratch marks on the inside of the covering. Rasputin's death did not save the Russian Empire, it only accelerated its fall. Without the one man capable of calming the Tsar and Tsarina, the Romanov family became even more isolated. 6 months later, the Russian Revolution toppled them. In July 1918, Nicholas, Alexandra, and all their children, including little Alexei, were executed in the basement of a house in Ekaterinburg. The monk they so feared had taken the crown with him to the grave. Who was Rasputin really? Historians still debate. Was he a brilliant charlatan who exploited a desperate mother? A healer who, by accident or instinct, knew that calm and hypnosis reduce bleeding in hemophiliacs? Or was there something more, something science still cannot name? What is certain is that none of the nobles who killed him were ever punished. Imperial Russia had larger crimes to answer for, and soon it would answer for all of them at once. More than 100 years later, Rasputin remains the most enigmatic figure in Russian history. Films, songs, books, the monk who wouldn't die became a symbol of something humanity still cannot explain. How can a single man, with no army, no title, no wealth, paralyze entire empires? Perhaps because he understood something the powerful forget, that real power never comes from the throne. It comes from fear. Rasputin's story is an uncomfortable mirror. It shows how desperation opens doors that should remain shut. How power blinds those who most need to see clearly. And how a single character, in the right place at the right time, can change the course of entire nations. If this video made you think, share it with someone who also isn't afraid of the truth. Because history, real history, is never as simple as we were told.